Hey everybody, Bearded Rogue here, and we're going to continue Tony Unpacks in Oregon, today with box 11. So let's go ahead and open this one up. This is a really good one, lots of really neat stuff in here, so let's get to it. So, the first thing I'm going to cover is one of my favorite games of recent times. It is a game unlike any other game. It combines a real-time element with a CCG simulation, and that's Millennium Blades. First of all, the box is gigantic, but this is, oh, and it's upside down. But yes, this is Millennium Blades. Millennium Blades is a Level 99 Games product, and it simulates CCGs, the collection of them, playing in tournaments of them, trading with other people, and it's a board game. Like, if it's a fixed board game. It has expansions, but it simulates that whole experience, and does so in a way that I can't really compare it to any other game. I really love the game. It offers a gameplay experience unlike anything anywhere else, and I don't see myself getting rid of it anytime soon. I've found some people don't really like it. Either they feel that the CCG like tournament portion is too simple, or too abstracted, or they don't like the real-time elements of it, or just in general it didn't grab them for whatever reason. I'm not one of those people. It's right up my alley. I really like the game, and am looking forward to actually trying my set rotation expansion, which came shortly before I left, so I haven't had a chance to play it yet. Now we're gonna start looking at, these are some play mats, and we'll talk more about them in a minute, just showing them off. I have 3. It would be really convenient if I had 4, because these are actually half play mats. But these go to another Level 99 game, which is one of my top 3 games of all time, and that's BattleCon. So, BattleCon comes in a couple of different flavors. This is Devastation of Indians, which is the large set. So this is one part of BattleCon. Then there is War of Indians, which is the medium-sized set for BattleCon. Then there is Fate of Indians, which is the smaller size set. And that's what's been released so far. They've kickstarted a fan-made set called Trials of Indians, and I'm given to understand that there's one more set currently in development that will be very, very cool. But I own everything BattleCon. BattleCon is one of my top 3 games of all time. I'm going to go ahead and shift this out of the way so that you can see my face. But BattleCon is one of my top 3 games of all time. I love the BattleCon system. It uses simultaneous action reveal as its primary mechanism. Each person plays a fighter. You have a set of cards. Everybody shares some cards that are bases that everybody uses, and then each character has unique cards that you mix with the bases to create the various different attacks that your character can perform. This is the original War of Indians that was kickstarted. As you can see, this game, which had different artists for every character, became a full line of products. Justifiably so, in my opinion, because it is a phenomenal game. But I keep all the extra random stuff in here in my original box, other than promo characters, which are in here. And I want to show you this. This is one of the games that I've actually developed a storage solution for. So every character is in one of these, which is just a little card case that you can get from Ultra Pro that carries a certain number of cards. I saw them for my at my game store. They were using them for magic rares behind the counter, and so I went ahead and asked if they could order me some. So I got a whole bunch, and now all of my characters are boxed up. Includes all their standees, their tokens, if they have any of the other things that go with them. But all of these characters are completely different rules-wise. They all have unique abilities. They all have different ways of doing things. Some of them use tokens, some of them don't. Some of them charge up over time. Some of them are get weaker over time. Some of them have totally unique ways of being defeated rather than a life total. Others have extra characters on the board or the ability to summon additional copies of themselves. It's every character is wildly different. And right now, including all of the promo characters that I have up to this point, there are like 75 or 80. So this is a game that I could probably literally play every day for the rest of my life and never play the same game twice. They have different characters. They have arenas that you can fight in. They have the Strikers expansion, which adds the ability to play tag modes with more than one fighter at a time, or to call in other fighters from off-screen, Marvel vs. Capcom style, to do something real quick on the screen and then jump away again. It's a fighting game simulator, and fighting games are something that I loved growing up, but never had an opportunity to get very good at. All of my friends had them for their game systems, and as such, played it a lot more than me. So my only real experience was in the arcades. Like, I played a lot of Street Fighter in our local arcade, because we actually had one of those in my hometown. And, Mortal Kombat and various other games that came out after Street Fighter really kind of captured my imagination as a pure, like, head-to-head, one-on-one contest. But they involved way too much manual dexterity for me, and way too much memorization of things, and BattleCon gave me a way to get the same kind of mental back and forth in competition without needing the manual dexterity, without having to memorize how a move was executed. I just needed to play two cards in combination, and I executed exactly the move that I wanted to. It's a perfect information game. You know exactly what people have in their hand. You know exactly what people have in their discard piles. But you don't know exactly what they're going to play each round. And trying to figure that out and figure out what you can play that counters that is so much fun. You know, it's a game that can lend itself to analysis paralysis if you aren't willing to just kind of go with it. Like, you could potentially sit down and do all the math to analyze what the best possible pick in any scenario is, and then what you expect your opponent's best possible pick to be, and what their best counter pick is, and what your best counter pick is, and then you decide, are they more likely to play their main best pick or their counter pick? What do I play to counter that, etc.? Like, it can go, the Vizzini effect can go, like, ridiculously deep. But you can also just throw cards down on the table and see what happens. And that's a really good way to learn new characters, and there's a lot of new characters to learn. It's really fun to play the same character over and over again, learning the little nuances that make them unique, and seeing what they can do that others can't do. Learning their rules and how they stack up against other characters who are longer ranged, or who are brawlers up in your face, or whether or not your counters work for other characters' primary offensive abilities. Like I said, if you are at all into fighting games, you will probably like this. If you are at all into head-to-head two-player combat games, you will probably like this game. They have another game out called Exceed, which is much less perfect information. Your character has a deck instead of a specific set of cards that you play. And while it is also a fine game, I prefer BattleCon. I love the perfect information aspect of it. I love the deep strategy and counterplay that exists. It's much more strategic, whereas Exceed is much more tactical, and that's not a bad thing. Normally, I prefer tactics to strategy, but in this case, BattleCon is just so one of my favorite games, and I don't nearly get to play it often enough. But it's a fantastic game, and as you can see, other than Millennium Blades, it basically filled this box. There's nothing else to empty out of this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and sign off and leave it at that. BattleCon, one of my favorite games of all time, and it definitely made its way with me to Oregon. So, Bearded Rogue, signing out.